Hey everybody, it's time for another current movie review. It's been 2 weeks, so it's time for us to talk about How to Train Your Dragon 3. Lost World, The Lost World, World of Lostness. I don't know what the subtitle of this movie is. I haven't seen it yet because we're going to talk about our thoughts about How to Train Your Dragons 1 and 2
before we go through
that. So this will give you context as to how we feel about that movie. Again, we haven't seen the third one yet. But if you don't want to know how we feel about those other movies and just want to skip right to the third one, I mean, you'll be confused by our thoughts probably, but you can go right to this timestamp.
So let's start off by talking about How to Train Your Dragon 1.
This movie was fine.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I have a few problems with it. And they're problems that stop me from really enjoying the film, I'll say. But, like, objectively, like, if I had to put my nitpicking and personal biases aside, I would say that this is a good movie that most people are really going to like. It just has things that I don't care for in it.
Because you have a critical eye.
I do have a critical eye. And one of those things that really bugs me and really takes me out of the film is the horrible, horrible nitpicking I have about art direction. And to elaborate on that, it's the fact that this movie is really ugly looking. And not from an animation standpoint or from a, like, background visual standpoint, because those are both gorgeous. It's the character design.
And you know, I'd be okay with a movie where, like, they're just gonna be ugly characters, because sometimes movies do that, and that's fine. But the problem is when you make your main character, dragon, toothless, adorable and round and cute, and then everything is spiky, ugly, gnarly, warty,
bulgy,
bulbous. It doesn't work. Do you see the disconnect between these dragons and all the other humans?
Mm-hmm.
They don't fit.
But I mean, just in general, I just don't like the character designs in this movie. Like, Hiccup, Stoic, and Toothless are the only appealing designs.
And that's a damn shame because, hey, I'm Hiccup, and my voice is the most obnoxious grating thing you're going to hear the whole movie. Hey, look at me move. I can't move because I'm an idiot. I don't know. These movements.
I hate your Hiccup voice so much. Like, I hate your Hiccup voice
because it's accurate.
It's too accurate.
It's too accurate to me.
I hate it. Like, I don't hate it while I'm watching the movie, but it grades on me in a way that...
Like,
it's an unconscious grading.
I will say it gets better in the sequel.
But they point it out in the sequel.
Oh yeah, we haven't gotten to the sequel yet because we have much worse words for the sequel. But we're still on the first one.
I want to apologize right away to everybody who loves these films, because I know there's people out there that really love these films, but this is just our opinion.
Cool, you can like the movie, but I'm going to tell you...
we're not trying to take that away from you. Please, keep enjoying it.
But I'm going to tell you why I don't.
Yeah.
In the most cohesive way possible.
We're gonna try to not be hyperbolic.
I don't think Hiccup is an engaging character.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the actor they got is good
conveys that character
good well enough. It's not just the voice, but just like his general mannerisms and like the way he says the lines, and like he's not written super well either, but like fine.
It works.
It works, I guess.
It works, and the bond between Hiccup and Toothless is nice.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say it's great, Like, I've seen better, like, dynamics between they should never be friends,
like
characters.
Some sort of humanoid versus some sort of not humanoid pairing.
Well, or just these people should be enemies, but instead they become friends.
Yeah.
That trope.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that trope. But I don't...
It doesn't work for you here.
What is really strong about this one is that that they have a connection through disability.
Yes.
And of course, usually this trope relies on, like, them both being kind of outcasts. In Toothless's case, he's not an outcast, he's disabled.
Yeah. Not by choice either.
Yeah. And like, there's some powerful moments in this movie. I do want to take time to talk about things that I think really do work. When Toothless is first introduced, and the way they build up to him being a Night Fury, and like how mysterious that all is, and then Toothless is so dangerous at the beginning of the film too. And like the scene where Hiccup is trying
to kill
him and
then
can't.
cuts him out, and he like screams at him and almost blasts him, but runs away instead.
Yeah, like that's
works.
a great moment. That's a really, really good moment. Why? Why do they ruin it?
Because then he's just a cute, cuddly animal for the rest of ever.
Yeah.
Like, there's no getting around to it either. It's like, you get one scene where he's like, get away, and then like, the very next scene, they have the bonding moment, and then he's just a cute animal forever.
Yeah, and then dragons aren't dangerous.
Like, dragons aren't dangerous,
for the rest
period.
of the film.
It's like, alright.
Uh-huh. And...
Another scene I actually do really enjoy is near the end when Stoic like finds out that Hiccup has been training a dragon, and he's like, "You're not my son!" And he storms outside and slams the door, and then like he sees the son and just kind of like staggers a moment, almost bursting into tears
at what he just said.
Yeah, and like the revelation of what has just happened, and just then shoves it all back down inside and storms off. That is like the best piece of animation out of this whole movie.
It's a brilliant piece of animation, period.
Yes.
Whoever animated that scene, like,
you fantastic job.
You're a god.
And sure, yeah, the flying scenes are pretty or whatever.
The flying scenes are really pretty. I really love the weight of the flying scenes. Like, there's it's so real and so like raw. And like the way you can feel the wind whipping around the wings as the wings kind of like stutter to like balance themselves out again and all that kind of stuff. Like, that is brilliant.
Yes.
The animation in this movie is really good in general. Like I said, it mostly comes down to character design really puts me off because so many of the human characters are so ugly for no good reason. And the dragons aren't ugly. It's just the idea that Toothless is one kind of artistic representation of a dragon, and then there's all the others
who fit into their own camp. Like, Toothless doesn't belong in the same universe as these other dragons. And that's the problem.
And another big problem I have with this movie...
Astrid?
Astrid!
Strong female representation. She's thin as a bone. She should be, like, fairly muscular.
Yeah, she's been training her whole life to be a dragon killer.
She's the best dragon killer out of the entire class. Why is she's little twigs?
Yeah,
and she's got a pretty face. Shouldn't she, like, I don't know, have punched people and gotten punched in return? Maybe she has a broken nose. Or, I don't know, sure, she can be pretty and strong. That's fine. But as soon as she gets kidnapped, because that's what it is, it's freaking kidnapping by Hiccup.
Try not to be hyperbolic. Remember, this is a good movie.
I mean, I'm not agreeing with you on that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think it's fine.
All right. I'll stand by that I think that this is a good movie. I just don't like it.
Astrid, as soon as she's captured, is immediately wooed by the hero. And even though she fucking hates him up until this point, she goes, punch, kiss.
Yeah, they kind of have not a slap kiss, but like...
But she's immediately wooed by this man who has tamed her with her dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just always on his side forever, even though, she hated him up until that point.
Yeah.
All right, fine. I don't have anything else to say about the first movie.
Well, I do.
Okay, actually, yeah, back that up.
No, I do.
What's your next point?
I hear DreamWorks.
Oh, okay, before you get to that one, because that's the big one.
Yeah.
This is not my own original thought. I will say that I got this idea from Avalon. We were discussing the How to Train Your Dragon movies while we were at Disney a few weeks ago.
I mean, it's something I've heard criticized about these movies as well.
But the dragons don't act like dragons ever. Sometimes they're cute, adorable cats. Sometimes they're dogs. They're usually those two. In the second one, you get an owl. All right. But also, they're all insectile in the fact that they have a hive mind, but only sometimes.
Whenever it's most convenient for the plot.
Yes. And that's like, yeah, that's a legitimate complaint. This doesn't make any sense, and it breaks down immediately upon thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm okay with there being, like, an uber dragon queen that, quote-unquote, controls other dragons, but doesn't actually control them.
Right.
Like, they're just... the others serve it because that's what they do.
This is actually something that's handled much better in Wings of Fire.
Okay.
Because there's a dragon queen that can mind control her subjects, but they're literally hive wings.
Okay.
And spoilers for Hive Queen if you haven't read that yet. And she poisons the eggs with venom so that she can actually do the mind control thing.
Oh, so enslavement from birth.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
That's great. I love it.
And yeah. But like just having some kind of rule or something, the How to Train Your Dragon hive mind thing only comes up
at the end of this movie and like 2 scenes in the next movie.
And the next movie.
Oh, the next movie.
Okay. But
Try to keep it to just this one.
DreamWorks. 2 things about DreamWorks. I hear them get credited a lot for having strong female characters, like, in animation. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, DreamWorks does female representation so much better than Disney. And
you
I
just have to do the
go,
slow blink of what the are you talking about?
right, because it's like, Astrid.
I can't believe I like bleep out myself sometimes, but not other times.
But not other times.
It depends on how angry I am and how many...
Well, because sometimes you gotta get to the point. Sometimes it's unnecessary. So, it happens when it happens.
Anyways.
But, like, Astrid is the only quote-unquote strong female character.
But then she gets pacified at the end of the movie.
Right.
And loses all characterization.
Mm-hmm. Like, a better female character, and there's not many. There's like 2 with speaking lines.
In this movie.
Yeah.
And the other one is the female twin.
Female twin, which, I mean, I actually kind of like her more than Astrid in this movie.
Because, like, she's a funny, rough, gross, obnoxious character who fits perfectly with the rest of the cast. And it doesn't matter that she's a girl. Okay, there's like one throwaway line about her being a girl, but like other than that, like it's fine.
Yeah, she's just treated like everybody else. And yet again, like, I could complain about the twins also being, like, lanky designs, and everybody else is, like, bulky. But it really bothers me with Astrid. Astrid should have been, like, a
wall.
A wall of woman.
Give me swole Astrid, okay?
Yeah.
Like, that would be cool.
I really disagree with that whole character design.
I don't even necessarily want her.
Think how cute it would have been if it would have been like this big woman liking this tiny hiccup.
Yeah, like just this like bodybuilder chick and
who could bench press hiccup.
And then he's just like, you know what? I'm charmed by your personality, except I mean that's not true because the personality is garbage.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I mean
that's kind of the point of his character, but even still.
Their whole getting together at all just kind of feels like, oh look, Hiccup won the girl.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it. Like, I don't feel like they actually developed any kind of bond with each other. They shared a secret with each other, or he shared a secret with her when she forced it out of him, and now they kiss.
Yeah.
But anyway, my other point is at the time that this movie came out, one big praise I kept hearing over and over and over for this film was, wow, this movie's so good for a DreamWorks film. And
oh boy.
I just think that's a disservice to DreamWorks.
Because DreamWorks has actually made some legitimately fantastic films.
Yeah.
Sure, they were on a really horrible streak there for a while.
Yeah, like, to be fair, I think that's where people come from when they say that. Like,
they forget that they made good movies every now and again.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know, I felt like people were like, oh, How to Train Your Dragon, that's so good for a DreamWorks film. And then, like, they look at other studios who, you know, maybe even indie studios or Disney or whatever. And they go, like, oh, yeah, that one's, like, the companies aren't being graded on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you have a kid that's barely trying. I'm going to name him. His name is DreamWorks.
Katzenberg.
His name is DreamWorks.
Okay.
And he barely tries, but you're like, wow, DreamWorks, you tried a little harder this time.
You tried a little harder and made a movie about a kid and his dragon. There's some issues, but I enjoyed it. Good job.
A+. And then you have Disney over here, and you're like, Disney, you're valedictorian, but you made a movie that was, I had a few nitpicks.
So
C-. Shame on you, Disney.
It's like, Disney, you made a movie about a beloved character with witty dialogue in a charming artistic style, and nobody went to see your movie. You fail. No more. You don't get to do. You don't get to do traditionally drawn animated movies anymore. You failed your Winnie the Pooh project.
I mean, those are quite a few years apart, dragons and Pooh, but...
I mean, it's that kind of criticism all the time.
Yeah. Anyway,
right.
I feel like that's a side tangent, but, like, I hate this idea of, like, not grading studios on, like, the same level. If they release a movie to theaters, like, we need to be grading them on a similar level.
I mean,
with the understanding that Disney has a lot bigger budget.
Yes.
Because, that's another thing I want to say about Dragons 1. I understand that it had a crazy production cycle. And, like, if I remember interviews correctly around the time this came out, it went through production in, like, 9 months, which is crazy.
That's a ludicrously short period of time.
Yeah, and with that being said, that is why I think this is a good movie, even though I don't like it. Because some of those problems that I have do get fixed in the sequel film.
And then they bring up...
And they realized that some of these things were problems. Which I think leads us into the second film.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, you do have to think about the fact that we don't necessarily grade movies on equal levels on Animation Pilgrimage. Because we do grade Disney harder than everybody else.
We do.
Yeah. Just a little self-awareness there, okay?
We do. We do. But I feel like for the time period we are at...
Foot in mouth?
Foot in mouth. I feel like it's fair for us to do that now where we're at in Animation Pilgrimage, which is the 60s, for future context. Because Disney's the only one doing this kind of thing. Like, Disney's the only company making big budget animated films.
Okay, that's fair, because no one else is doing
there isn't an even playing field yet.
Everyone else is doing
be until
low
Don Bluth comes around.
Yeah, everyone else is doing lowish or medium maybe budget animated films.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be fair to grade them on the same level.
Because Toei Animation is like the only other company that's even close, and they definitely don't put anywhere near the same budget in that Disney does.
Exactly.
Okay, either way, let's get back to How to Train Your Dragon 2. God, this movie sucks. Oh my god, they took the first movie and then just like, hey, what if we made that movie again, but like worse in every way? What if instead of one out, just Toothless has gotta have a parent, but we can't have both, so we're gonna introduce the new one and kill the other one off, but
you
not
mean Hiccup.
Hiccup can't have, yeah, but the
Sean, make your sentences coherent. You just called How to Train Your Dragon 2 terrible, and you have some explaining to do, so please do it properly.
Hello, everyone. Let's introduce to the show Sean Flowers. Sean, I ask you, what female characters are in How to Train a Dragon 2, and what are your feelings on them? Well, thank you, Sean. I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm trying to formulate my thoughts.
Yes.
Well, we have Astrid. Mm-hmm. The main character's girlfriend. So her character is, my boyfriend is amazing and I will support him in all ways. All right, what else does she do? No, that's about it. Okay, so what does she support him in? Well, she's supporting her boyfriend in becoming the new chief, which he doesn't want to be. Okay, but wouldn't that work better if, he just let her become chief because she is 1, competent, 2, smart, 3, strong, 4, commanding.
5, says in the movie
that she would love
to be chief.
And are we going to acknowledge this? No, we're just going to glaze over it because the main character, who is a boy, has to be chief. Even though he obviously doesn't want to and doesn't want to ever throughout the whole movie, even when he becomes chief.
And even when he kind of tries to do chiefly things, he does it poorly. Piss poor job of it.
I mean, the whole movie, he's just getting grabbed by people constantly forever, and then after having a good time with his mom, he goes and talks to the guy who's not going to listen to anything he has to say, which forces, his dad to die. Mm-hmm. And then he becomes chief and wins the day. Sure.
Like, the movie is trying to have a message about, oh, we need to talk. Like, there's so many half messages in this film. This idea that Hiccup has to go talk to Dragon Yeller. Because, Dragon Screamo, man. So that they can, he can convince him that his is the right way, when it's, not every situation can be solved by talking.
Yeah.
And this is one of those situations, and characters constantly tell him, this is not one of those situations. And when Hiccup starts talking to him, it's pretty obvious. If you know how to read someone's body language,
This guy does not give a crap.
this guy does not give a crap about your friendship is magic
Speech.
Hiccup. You should probably go.
I don't know, use your dragon, blast him, save the day right then and there, and stop thousands of people and dragons dying. You know, that would have been smart.
But that's too dark. So they can't have that message. But they didn't decide to change the bad guy so that the message could work, so that they could talk out their problems. A lot of change, like a lot of messages in this film seem to be changed so that they could keep like a PG rating or something like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if they would have had a hero kill the bad guy, it's like, oh, well, we can't teach kids it's okay to kill someone, which I'm like, alright, yeah, that's a good message, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean Flowers, so what is the second female character you have? Oh, well, this is the second one. This is probably the least consequential. You wouldn't worry too much about her. It's the female twin. She now has every boy smitten for her affections.
She's the only other teenage girl in the... Or not teenage, they're 20, as they like to point out multiple times in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
The whole cast is 20 now.
They don't look 20. But anyways, okay, everyone loves her. But she doesn't care about any of them and just keeps using her womanly wiles to wrap them around her finger and do whatever she wants. And then she meets a hunk of a man who we introduced for this movie who is...
I mean, to be fair in that regard, she is like, she's taking what they give to her, but then she's like, go away.
Oh, yeah,
she's not like
That's
leading
true.
them on.
That's true. She's like, I don't care, I'll take whatever you're giving me, but I still am not interested at all.
Yeah.
So the guys are just dumb, sexist idiots. All right, fine. But anyways, then she falls for a man, and then she tries to sexually assault him multiple times over the course of the movie. This is both unfunny, and rape connotations are not cool, kids.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a little bit. It doesn't matter which gender way it goes.
Sexual assault is not funny when a woman does it either.
Doesn't matter what the gender is, it's not funny.
Mm-hmm. There is one funny joke she gets, and it's like the funniest joke in the movie, and that's when they're flying down and she sees him for the first time. There's a couple unfunny jokes because it's like sudden love sickness, whatever, okay, but then when she's just like, take me, and the net flies over, that is hilarious, and I will stand by that joke.
Okay.
That is funny.
All right, and how many other female characters do you have in your movie? Oh, we have like the silent witch lady or whatever from the first movie. She still does nothing.
You're really holding on to this one.
Why does she exist? She's supposed to be like the sage master voice of reason that never speaks, but like she does nothing in movie 1 or 2.
She's the village elder,
Yeah.
whatever.
Either way, I don't care about her.
So Sean Flowers.
Yes.
How about the other women in this movie?
Oh, we got one.
One? One more? Just one more?
Just one.
Gee, there sure seem to be a lot of guys.
Oh yeah, you got, Hiccup and Toothless and this other female character's dragon and, because that one's a boy too, because of course it is. Why would that be a girl?
Anyway, let's talk about the last female character.
Hiccup's mom. Hiccup's mom...
gets introduced, and she's so cool.
Except she's also an asshole.
Yeah.
She immediately grabs Hiccup off of his dragon, which dooms Toothless to drown. But it's okay, she can control all dragons, so she saves both of them. And then she, brings him to her cave of dragons to intimidate him, to feed him to her dragons. I don't know what her plan was here, because she found someone else that can ride a dragon, why not, I don't know, fucking talk to them?
Before bringing them to your haven of dragons.
See if they're a good person, bad person. Also, if you assault them and then decide you're not going to talk to them, what are you doing? Alright, fine. And then she finds out, oh, it's Hiccup because...
My baby boy!
Oh yeah, here, let me give you my backstory of how I tried to save you because I was exactly like you and wouldn't fight dragons.
This backstory.
Let's also represent that Hiccup has always had an unimaginable connection to dragons. Oh,
Even though I'm pretty sure a dragon tried to fucking eat him.
In the first movie?
Oh,
Oh, absolutely. Multiple times. Both in the opening and then, during the training sessions.
Yeah.
And then...
But okay.
His mom gets carried off.
Her backstory, okay? Where she's like, no, don't kill the dragon, you'll just make things worse. Based on what? Why? It's such a lazy backstory.
Also, if she's this into dragons, how the balls was Stoic ever interested?
When he is so not.
When in his backstory in the first movie, he had killed a dragon when he was like, I don't know, 1?
Yeah.
So, come on.
Yeah, that's being nitpicky, but yeah.
They don't belong together.
No.
And they don't belong together.
Yeah.
Okay?
They really don't.
Because, let's see, she's weird, fine. She does bad things at the beginning, but then she also just doesn't come back, even though after she's tamed dragons, she's like, I figured it'd be better if I just didn't come back.
I figured it would be safer for you, my baby boy, if I didn't come back to the dragon, or come back to the village where you're all being eaten by dragons and show you how you all don't have to be eaten by dragons anymore.
You don't have to be eaten by dragons, and I can save the dragons that you're killing. I don't know. This seems like a really bad place for me to go back to. I better stay all the way over here and not interact with this group of people and monsters that I both dearly love killing each other for 20 years, including my husband and son. You idiot!
You're a bad mom. And I mean, at least the movie kind of acknowledges that, they just try and brush it under the rug of
Yeah, don't worry about it.
She's like, oh, I made a mistake. I should have gone back.
It's like, this is 20 years too late.
You should have.
It's like, this is 20 or at least 15 years too late. If you wanted to live for X amount of years off by yourself, learning how to dragon, cool. That's fine. But after a while, you probably should build a conscience. And, alright, that's all terrible, but she's weird and quirky, knows all these dragon things. She gives Toothless extra spikes so that he fits slightly better in with the other dragons. I guess that's
okay.
one other side.
This is the thing they fix about this movie, from the first one to the second one. I don't really have any complaints about the art direction for this film.
No, it's actually a lot more cohesive.
Yeah, it's a lot more cohesive because they introduce a shit ton of dragons that look a lot more like Toothless.
Or a better medium between Toothless and the other dragons that were from the first movie.
And even though it makes me laugh every time I see any of the characters, they Neville Longbottomed the whole cast and made them all hot, sexy stud people. And I'm just like, okay, I know your cast was ugly, but I kind of thought that was the point because they were Vikings in the first film. I guess you guys just realized how ugly they were and you didn't want to spend, however movies you plan on making in this franchise looking at these ugly characters.
Okay. Anyways, back to Mom.
Mm-hmm.
She's weird and quirky and they get along and they have a good old time. And then Dad shows up and she becomes wife.
Yup.
She becomes subservient, wife. There is no other way to put that. She loses all interesting characteristics and just becomes his wife.
The moment where they sing the song should be so touching. And it's like, it's a well-animated scene. They have moments in there where, like...
she's
hesitant because she hasn't been around people and stuff. And it's like, I'm almost in this moment with you, movie, but...
she doesn't belong there anymore.
It's like, I cannot believe that this woman would be okay with going, like, she spent 20 years and decided not to go back for some stupid reason. I cannot believe her wanting to go back and be a wife.
Just go back and be wife. Sure, dragon riding wife, but she's still wife.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, and the song they sing is, like, still fairly sexist, even though everyone rides dragons. But, like, this song is like, oh, I am the man, so I do man things, and you'll be the wife and be happy I'm around. That's the lyrics of this song.
Yeah. Which sucks because, like, if you actually look at Viking culture...
like, no, it's actually pretty okay with...
yeah, Viking women were
just as badass as the men.
Yeah. And not just, told to stay home.
Yeah. All right. And then Dad dies because Toothless was hypnotized.
Plot contrivance.
Because plot contrivance and the new Mega Dragons, because this movie is How to Train Your Dragon 2. So they have to have 2 Mega Dragons instead of just the one from the first movie.
This movie introduced alphas for some reason.
Even though the first movie had a queen.
Yeah.
And these are alphas now.
I don't know why we had to make that switch, other than to, I guess, just put more boy characters. Even the dragons all have to be boys.
Because Owl Dragon, who is Mom's dragon, is a boy. They refer to it as a boy multiple times. All right.
It's one of those things where it's like, it's not like
I'm not upset this is a boy, but why is everyone a boy?
Yeah.
That's my issue.
And, like, a role that previously used to be girl, like queen, dragon queen,
mm-hmm.
is now boy for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Is it because you wanted this specific species to only be boy?
Like, do I think the creators are purposefully being sexist? No,
but like they could have easily
frustrating.
They could have still easily thought about this for 10 seconds and done something about it.
Yeah. And now it's time to talk about the villain and how he just saps, like, all emotional investment I have.
He kills the movie in every way.
Like, he's kind of intimidating when he shows up in the backstory, but when you actually see him, like...
he's just a metalhead that...
nothing.
He's a metalhead that literally just screams at dragons to make them do what he wants.
It's so lame.
And his scream is really bad.
It's so lame.
Like, this man is not...
well, and they don't... okay, this is where we need to talk about another thing. Where the art direction gets significantly better, the shot composition drives me absolutely bonkers.
Oh, God.
Because,
I know you really want to talk about this, but I want to address this character a little bit more.
Well, but
briefly.
Okay.
I think his character design is fine. It's all of his actions, aka the shouting, that is a bad idea. If you want to have him be intimidating to everyone and dragons, you should have him motherfucking stare down dragons. Or maybe punch them in the face and be like, no, you're mine. Instead of...
this should be an allegory for animal abuse, but it's not. He's just applying some different form of, like, dragon mind control that Hiccup's mom and this guy apparently just know how to do.
Yeah. It's like, you could have done something here, but apparently you don't want to be cruel to the dragons, so you didn't put it in.
Yet again, it's something that, like, this would have made this movie PG-13, so we had to take it out or something like that.
Yeah, so it just makes this guy lackluster.
Yeah, and this is what I was going to talk about with
go
shot
ahead.
composition. If they would have shot him in a more threatening way, the screaming could have kind of worked. I still don't think it's a great idea.
Just have him always shrouded in shadow and like from an intimidating directions and far away.
Like, really uncomfortable. Like he needs to be like far away, Dutch angles, and really close to the camera. Like make him uncomfortable. But
when you do all these flat shots and where he's just like, muddled in with like 17 other people,
or just like he's framed like against the sky, and like it's just like a middle shot.
The sky's vaguely gray. Like, this isn't intimidating.
You're not looking, like, up at him or anything. It's just, he's there. Mm-hmm. He's a big Viking guy with some scars.
He looks like he just got out of, a heavy metal concert.
And I do not believe for a damn second
that this alpha thing obeys him.
Guy screamed at an alpha dragon and it obeys his commands. Like, no. You've given me no reason to believe that. Like, that's too much movie. Too big of a jump.
It's like,
for me to suspend my disbelief
I could suspend my disbelief that he can do that with, like, a regular-sized dragon, but not the big one.
No.
Fuck you, movie.
And then to have that be the catalyst of like, oh no, he can control the alpha, and the alpha can mind control Toothless, and oh no, now that's gonna be the thing that kills Stoic. Like, I cannot, this movie's trying so hard to pull me in, but it's just like, I cannot believe any of this.
It's like, it's frankly unbelievable to the point where I can't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of this.
Like, this is so obviously just done because we gotta
kill the dad.
We gotta have an emotional beat. And what's the point of killing the dad? So that Hiccup can learn
to be chief? Protect your own is the term they keep referring to, but like never really apply in any meaningful way.
Yeah, protect your own is something that's seen as a bad thing at first, because Stoic says it, like, protect your own.
And then his mom does it.
And then his mom does it as protect your own. And
referring to the dragons.
It's referring to, like, these two sides of opposing cultures, essentially.
Mm-hmm. And it's like...
But that doesn't go... It then becomes, like, a good thing. Like, oh, I need to go protect my own.
Hey, everybody, I need to protect my own, which means everybody is... I protect everybody now, because I'm chief, even though I'm not equipped to be chief at all. Hey, Astrid, do you want to be chief? And I'll just be your, like, boyfriend still, but, like... I'll just be the guy that knows all the dragon stuff, and I'll help assist you with that kind of stuff. There, movie solved! Seriously, just let her be chief, take care of the chiefly things, and he can just go off and be pedantic dragon kid.
Yeah.
And does all his nerd shit. And I think that would work so much better.
Yeah.
It's a really easy fucking fix.
Yeah. Like, just write the movie so that it's a coming-of-age story in which Hiccup realizes he can't be the thing that his dad wants.
And he never has been. And
he never would want to be anyway. But you've got a perfectly capable female character, just a perfectly capable character right here who would love to do it.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't even matter that she's female. It's just like, no, she is the most equipped character in this entire movie franchise to take over as chief.
Mm-hmm.
But nope, we gotta have the boy main character who has no redeeming qualities for this particular job to take over. Do you guys see why now we don't like these movies, specifically the second one?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, rewatching the movies and helping to differentiate the first and the second one is like, all right, the first one is
significantly better than the second one.
Significantly better than the second one, for sure. And like, I'm able to see that better now. Mm-hmm. But like, God, come on. This movie's... The second one is so bad, guys. It's so bad.
Oh, another thing about
Shot composition. Yeah, I thought about the two. It's like, we need to go back. This movie doesn't know how to do any shots. Do you know how like the first movie had pretty shots?
There are pretty shots in this film, but they're cluttered. They're so cluttered, and there's stuff going on in the background.
It's so distracting.
Got dragons playing around in the background when people are saying important lines, and it's so distracting.
Okay. I need to bring this up right now. Mm-hmm. The very first scene that we have with, second scene we have with Toothless and Hiccup is he's on the cliff right after they crash, and he's drawing out the map. And that's fine. And then Astrid shows up with her dragon. And then they're going over all the backstory stuff. And this moment where we first see these two characters interacting in this movie, they have the gall to actively mock their own movie, like actively mock the animation of the first movie, and try to play this off as a reason that we should like these characters. Mm-hmm. Do not start your movie where you're retconning the actions of a previous movie by making fun of those previous actions. Establish that these characters are interesting and well-versed characters that you want to be involved in, and then sure, maybe like halfway through the movie or like later into the movie, then you can make fun of things you did in the first movie. This is bad pacing. This just immediately makes me feel like you're not confident in your new character enough that you have to mock the old version of them.
Well, reference them in a mocking way, yeah.
But then, like, the whole scene is them literally just Astrid being Hiccup from the first movie, and it's still really bad animation, and I hate all of it.
Just the, yeah.
Moving my arms like this, and like, even if it's in a mocking way, it's still the same thing, and I hate it. It's bad animation, and making fun of the bad animation as the first thing this character does is not a good introduction.
You should clarify, it's not bad animation, it's bad character animation.
It's bad character animation because you don't want to look at a character doing that specific motion ever.
I mean, yes.
I don't.
I don't.
No,
I don't.
I really don't.
But, I mean, like, it was supposed to be something like Hiccup's
awkward
thing.
Yeah.
Like, so he does, like, he does this, and he shrugs his shoulders. But they make fun of it, and then it's just like, now I can't stop seeing it.
Yeah. It's like, you draw my attention to it, which just makes me not like it even more.
Right.
But at the same time that they're doing all of this, in the same shot, in the background, Toothless and her dragon, whatever the balls its name is,
I can't remember half the names in this movie.
Wrestling and playing with each other and being overly distracting, so the point you can't pay attention to what the main plot is. You're like, what's going on? Where am I supposed to look? What is going on? I missed everything. Fuck.
What are you guys even talking about?
I don't know what your main plot. I don't know why your characters are motivated. What is your character motivation? I just missed it.
Yeah, it's like you had two teams of animators here. People who were working on the main plot with the humans and people who just wanted to animate dragons. And they ended up having all this surplus of cute dragon animations, and they're like, well, people love cute dragon animations, so we'll just throw them in the movie.
In, like, the background of other scenes. And then
it's so distracting!
Because this just keeps happening.
Yeah, it's not the only scene that has it. It happens over and over and over again.
It's like, as soon as the owl dragon is introduced, and it's like Toothless and his mom talking, the owl dragon and Toothless are just doing it. All the time. Like the same thing. They're just messing around and doing shit the whole goddamn time. And there's like baby dragons, and it's just
oh
mess.
Gosh. Talk about the baby dragons.
Oh yeah. The bad guy takes
this
all...
is a small thing compared to everything else, but it's just further point of, like, why I can't get sucked into this film. Is, like, the bad guy takes all the dragons.
Except for the baby. And then the good guys are like, well, how are we supposed to get back to Burke? And like, well, it turns out he didn't take the baby dragons because even baby dragons don't listen to Elder, or like, can't be mind controlled because they don't listen to anyone because they're babies.
Okay, why would dragons... Like, this is gonna be real nitpicky stuff, guys, but like...
If they have a hive mind, babies would be the most susceptible.
Yeah. They
haven't formed
the babies
their
can
minds.
fly, so there's no reason to leave them behind. And if they don't listen to anyone, how the hell are you riding them? Riding them all the way across an ocean
and sure,
to
you're
get
like,
back to your island?
You're trying to play that specific point off as like a comedic thing because
joke?
they're like swerving
But,
around
like,
and stuff, but like
it's
no.
an actual, like...
Legitimate how?
Yeah, like that should be a big, like, how are we gonna get back? He took all the dragons. But no, it's just, it's a joke and they get back and then Toothless mega evolves.
Yeah, he mega evolves into Mega Toothless. Glowing neon. You look like, seriously.
Glowing neon blue.
Just looking at it, I was like, this looks like if Toothless was a Mega Charizard. X or the black one, whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then he just becomes the alpha because fuck you.
Yeah.
There is no reason why he was able to overcome the thought control this time.
Mm-hmm. No, the Hiccup was just like...
No, it's me this time. Seriously, my dad's not around. You can't kill him. So now, so now you have to listen to me.
The power of friendship compels you. Ha!
You're my friend and stuff, so you can't hurt me anymore. Even though you're gonna totally kill me earlier, this time it works.
Yeah.
Because I don't fucking know.
This time it works because I yelled at you after you did it the first time.
Bad dog.
Bad dog. Oh.
God, people are gonna be like, this timestamp is an hour into the video.
Okay, I have had so many thoughts and feelings about How to Train Your Dragon broiling underneath the surface, and I just had to get them out.
Like, we've been hinting at this since we saw the first trailer near the beginning of last year.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It feels good to get it out.
Yes.
Yet again, I, like...
The first one is fun.
Because this is the internet, and people get butthurt when you have an opinion that's different from yours. I don't care if you love this film. That's great.
Good
I'm
for
not
you.
trying to take this away from you. This is just my opinion. Our opinion.
Yeah.
And we're being a little hyperbolic in some cases here, but like we are trying to give a genuine critique of the film.
Ways to fix...
I mean, we talked about Dragons too. Just honestly, like making it more so it's about like Hiccup learning he
doesn't need to be the leader. And focusing on, like, making Astrid leader, or just, like, actually giving Hiccup some kind of character arc. Because he doesn't do anything in this movie.
No,
he literally does nothing. He just gets grabbed by, like, four different characters in a row.
Along the plot.
And then he goes and talks to the bad guy who doesn't listen to him. Then he gets his dad killed, and then he becomes leader. We already covered this. I said all that before, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, am I going crazy? Are dragons driving me nuts?
No.
Okay. We're going to calm down, and I'm going to let you know that this is being recorded like a day before we go to see How to Train Your Dragons 3.
And I am going to try to go into it without my opinions on the second movie souring it.
Yeah. I'm going to go in. I'm going to let the movie do its way, I'm not going to hate it just because I hate the last one. Again, the first one was fine. I am interested to see what they do with this movie, even though the trailers have already shown us the whole plot. I'm interested how the character interactions are going to work. Maybe their shot composition is going to get better.
It fixes any of these things that we talked about.
There, okay, let's get into How to Train Your Dragon 3. Take it away, future us.
All right, and now dragons. Shoot, I already forgot. The Hidden World. How to Train Your Dragon. The Hidden World. I keep forgetting the subtitle of this.
Thank you, Past Self, for the throw. We will take it from here.
Yeah.
Did you forget that already?
A long throw, but we kindly caught it. I mean, it wasn't long for you guys. Well, it kind of was long for you guys. Not where we started the throw, but like, I think our episode, or us talking about Dragons 1 and 2 was like 50 minutes long or something like that.
Nearly an hour. Yeah, something in there. So if you skipped all of that, okay.
All right.
I mean,
welcome.
All right. So, first things first.
Yes.
What was your thought on the movie?
It's okay, I guess.
I honestly think it's fine. We're done here. See y'all in 2 weeks when we go see. I don't know, man. There are definitely still problems, but they fixed a lot of the issues from the last movie.
Art direction wise, I don't really have a problem with this film. I think, I mean, obviously like CG computer animation just keeps looking prettier and prettier as time goes on. But my complaints before about
shot composition,
character
and
design,
art direction.
Yeah, art direction, shot composition. On this initial viewing, I don't have any complaints with any of those things. I guess I have a few complaints about character design.
Around one.
Around a character or two. I'm curious what your thoughts on that are.
One character.
Okay.
Just one for me.
Okay.
Remember, we're in the non-spoiler section, by the way.
Yeah, that's true.
That was like, before you go too far, I
Yeah.
can tell you weren't thinking about it, but
I wasn't thinking about it.
we're doing non-spoilers here at the beginning.
And then spoilers. This film is gorgeous. And if you loved the first two films, I think there's just more to love here.
Yeah, if you already are totally on board for the first and second movies, then yeah, I don't see any reason you would not be okay with this movie.
Mm-hmm. And this film even avoids some of the tropes that we thought were bad in the first film. Like the hive mind thing doesn't really come into play.
No, there is still mind control though.
There's still mind control.
But it's to a much lesser extent.
And it works.
Yeah.
It works for the sake of the movie, and it doesn't feel like a convenience. In general, I don't feel like the plot is moving along out of convenience.
Yeah. No, people actually do things in this movie.
That lead to other things
happening.
Yeah.
Whether if you actually stop and think about
how or why.
How did this get set up correctly? How did this character know this exact scenario was going to happen? That's a little more iffy, but whatever.
But then that gets kind of down into nitpicking, and sure, you can find any plot hole to any movie.
Oh, according to Keikaku. Keikaku means plan.
Thank you.
Yes. I have to make them dank memes that are old at this point.
I will say
Astrid actually does more.
Mm-hmm.
She's still not to the level of her own being as I would like, but she's significantly better than the last movie.
Yeah. And the movie before that.
Mm-hmm. There was a really it's kind of spoilers, but there's every every single one of the random characters has their own subplot. And, like, there's one in particular that I'm just like, I don't like this one.
Why is it here?
Why is this a thing? This is not... No.
Mm-hmm. In general, the whole structure of the story, like, there's a whole lot of plots going on, and only the stuff going on with Hiccup and Toothless really matter, and the rest is just kind of
Filler.
But I guess if you wanted to see more of these characters, then
You get more of these characters.
then you get more of these characters. However, those plots don't, like, they don't even have similar themes to the rest of the story to even, like, bring it all together at the end. It's just kind of like, these are things that are also happening at the same time.
But it's not like a whiplash of like, and suddenly we're doing this now type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, the villain actually works.
Yeah, the villain's better in this film. Still not great, but...
Like, I mean,
he's fine.
He's fine.
And the Light Fury design. We should talk about that, because this has been a hot button topic, like, since the design was shown.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to say
and
right now...
it's not really a spoiler.
Yeah, this isn't a spoiler.
It's a poster character.
Yeah. When I first saw the Light Fury design, I was like, okay, that's pretty stereotypical, but I didn't have a problem with it like a lot of the internet seemed to have.
It's like, we gotta wait until we, like, see it in action.
Yeah, like, I'll wait to see it in action and then see how I feel about it then.
We saw it in action, and it's not a character. It's just a girl.
Wait. That's spoilers. I'm talking just about the design.
Okay.
Just the design itself. The more I looked at it, the more it bothered me.
Mm-hmm. It's like every time this character is on screen, it's just like, you know...
This was designed to be cute, girl, dragon, and nothing else was taken into consideration. Like...
She literally is just sparkly salamander. It's just a sparkly salamander with wings. Like, you can't tell me otherwise.
It's just the fact that we've already had such a problem with characters...
Cohesive character design.
With female character representation in these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Then to just have...
Stock girl dragon.
A girl dragon show up... And she has to look as girly as possible.
God, I'm surprised she didn't, like, breathe rainbows or some shit like that.
Yeah, it just bothered me the further we got into the movie. And I was not in the camp of hating this design to begin with. It just...
Just, like, over the course of the movie, it's just like, you know, I just... It just keeps not wowing me in any way.
Mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason for her not to just be another Black Knight Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Other than just to make them visually different. Like, I think it's a good idea. Like, her being white is not a bad idea. Because it's like, okay, then they're like two contrasting designs. You're not going to get them mixed up with each other.
You could have just had her be an albino Night Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Or just a Night Fury that's not black.
Well, or
because
do some actual character design, and you could have made her a Black Knight Fury, but, you know, like, made her proportions different.
Mm-hmm.
So that she actually looks like a different dragon. But I guess that would be too hard. I mean, okay, but going back to it, her being white is not bad. It's just the fact that, like, every single thing about her design is like, how can we make this cute? And so it's like, we've got to make her more round. We've got to make her more sleek. We've got to make her sparkle. We've got to make sure that she doesn't have any scales. her wings don't even have the typical wing design of most dragons in this series. They're
Smoother.
perfect, like, moon shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And this just kind of goes back to the complaint I had in the first film, where it's like, Toothless is too round and soft compared to all the other dragons. Well, if Toothless was too soft, she is a literal cloud. Like,
it's like, oh, we went from, like, cartoon dragon with, like, realistic, edgy dragons to, like, the second movie where we've got more
in-between.
More in between, and then the third movie comes out, we have the Kawaii Desu dragon now. Is like that's a really rough, like, version of it, but, like, that's what we have now. It's like, she's too cute.
She's too soft, too round, too smooth.
Mm-hmm. It's like there's two other quote unquote major or acknowledged, or three other acknowledged new dragon designs in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And all three of them are
fit the aesthetic.
They're very distinct, but they all fit the aesthetic of either super spiky or closer to Toothless, but they're like some amalgamation in there, and they feel perfectly acceptable in this universe.
Into the universe just fine.
And then we have her,
the Light Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Plot-wise, I think this movie works perfectly fine, except for a really dumb thing that happens at the end of the movie, just so that they can, like, have a tear-jerky moment.
Mm-hmm. And you know what it is. Like, we're not gonna say it because it's spoilers.
It is still spoilers.
It's still something that happens in the last, 10 minutes of the movie.
And you know exactly.
But if you watch the trailers, you know exactly what's coming up. You know what the tearjerker is. Don't even fool yourself.
Mm-hmm. So...
But I'm just gonna say that, like, the build-up to that moment, I feel, does not justify...
the action. Yeah, it's like you're trying to convince me that this needs to happen in this movie, but I still don't see it.
Mm-hmm. I still feel like you're just doing it to make us cry.
Yeah, I'll go into more we'll go into more details in the spoiler section, obviously, but...
Mm-hmm. I still think of the three movies, the first one is the most solid story-wise.
But this is a better overall package.
Yeah, I don't know. I would need to sit and reflect on it a bit.
Okay.
I still feel like out of the three of them, I would most likely want to rewatch the first one.
I mean, yeah. I really don't ever want to watch the second one again.
No.
It's so bad.
No, because the second one just kind of makes us angry. But this one was just kind of like, okay, there's some parts that are, like, funny and cute, and I like it. And then other parts that just kind of really annoy me and make me go, I don't know if that was a great decision. Why is this here? And then to kind of all lead up to a climax or to a conclusion that I'm just like, okay, I guess. Doesn't leave me, like, feeling super pumped to watch the movie again.
No, I probably won't watch this again.
Except for
not until
Animation
Pilgrimage in, like, 7 years. Whenever we get back to the present.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot more to say in the non-spoiler section. So, if this piqued your interest, cool, go see it.
I mean, the people who are interested in seeing dragons, we're gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Regardless, the people who wanted to go see dragons probably rage quit our review, like, halfway through our talk about the first movie. So.
The first movie or the first two, or just the first movie?
Just the first movie.
Okay, I mean that's fair. All right, so let's talk about some of the trailers that we saw, and then we'll transition over to spoilers.
Okay.
Trailers that we saw the first trailer for Angry Birds 2.
Oh, no. I don't. Okay, first off, like, the trailer was going, and I'm like, I've looked at the list of movies coming out this year, and I have no idea what this is supposed to be.
It's not until, like, near the end that they, like...
That you finally see an Angry Bird.
Show the Angry Birds and the pigs. And I was like, oh no. It's like, I mean, the trailer's going, it's like, I'm not really that interested in anything that's going on in this. I'm just confused as to, like, what I'm looking at. Because it's just like this purple bird in, like, a frozen wasteland.
That he's trying to make, like, a tropical paradise. And that's it. And then all of a sudden he's like, screw this tropical winter wonderland.
I want a real tropical wonderland.
And so then it shows, like, him invading the Angry Birds Island.
I guess.
So
we gotta be perfectly honest here. We tried to watch the original Angry Birds movie, and we couldn't.
We stopped it, like,
we can't.
How far did we get? Was it 5 or 10 minutes?
Maybe 10. But it's like, there's nothing. It's just constant nothing. Forever. And, like, I can't even say I'm angry at it. It just fills me with nothing. Just like an existential dread for living.
I'm just like, yeah, oh, God.
It's like every moment is like pulling my toenails off. Like, this is...
And I'm not even angry about it. I'm just numb.
I'm
just
like,
numb.
It just sucks anything out of you. And it's like, I need to stop watching this, or else I'm going to die.
Or else I'm going to die. That might be a bit hyperbolic.
But I might wish for that if I were to continue watching this.
I gotta say, yeah, like, watching... I don't remember any of it. I just remember being in mental pain. Like feeling my brain ooze out of my ears.
All I can vaguely remember is, like, the main character's made fun of for having big eyebrows.
I don't even remember that.
And so he's angry.
The only thing I remember from this movie is clips that have been shown when other reviewers have talked about it that I've seen. And most other reviewers are like, it's fine, not great, but it's fine. It's got a couple of good comedy scenes here and there. I'm just like, I
can't.
I don't know how you got through that.
I don't know if we're going to be able to watch that movie to watch this other one. It's going to be pain.
Are we going to be able to get through it in theaters?
Oh, God.
Because this is a sequel.
Yeah.
Is this going to be like the first movie we walk out on?
I don't know. Because
I've never walked out of a movie before.
I've felt the urge strongly in 2016 or 2017. Whatever year we started doing this. There's one or two that first year. It's like, I have never felt the urge to walk out of a theater so strong.
Well, I mean...
But I need to remove myself from this experience.
Okay, and then we saw an actual, like, story trailer for...
Ugly Dolls?
Ugly Dolls.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that just kind of feels like a soul-sucking experience,
it's like,
too, honestly.
This feels like there's nothing here.
Although
It
has the audacity in the trailer to be like, be sure you don't miss the musical event of the year. I'm like, that is bold coming from you, movie.
Yeah. Now, you're going to have to correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't this, like, based off of some line of toys from, like, years ago?
We're going to get
that aren't even sold anymore?
Nothing but sequels and already
existing franchises
this year.
Except for Wonder Park, which is actually the next movie we're going to see in, like, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I think those are the only 2 trailers.
No.
What?
You forgot Secret Life of Pets 2.
Oh, yeah. Harrison Ford is apparently going to be in Secret Lives 2.
And like, he clearly does not give a fucking shit. As usual.
They also wrote his character
in such a way because, like,
to be like that.
They're getting Harrison Ford and they know he doesn't care. Mm-hmm. He doesn't care. He'll say whatever the hell he wants.
It's like you hand him a script, and he'll say the words, but
like,
he's not emoting.
Nope. He's like, you got me because of brand recognition, and I'm just doing this for the paycheck. We both know what's going on here. I'm not even gonna try.
Which leads to the funniest line in the trailer.
You're cured.
Hallelujah.
It's like, you could just see Harrison Ford in the recording booth holding the script with like his glasses half down, just like, you're cured. Hallelujah. Check, please.
Check, please.
Oh, I love that man.
How little he cares anymore. After that trailer, Sean and I were laughing, and I just turned to Sean and I'm like, Harrison Ford had his last fuck to give like 20 years ago. And we're just blessed. Okay.
All right, I think we're going to actually go into spoilers now.
Yeah.
For the movie. So if you don't want that, or you want to go see the movie first, do so, and then come back and continue watching this.
Yeah.
All right.
So this movie has a lot of side plots. Like, it's just crammed with content. And it's like they've got to give every single main character a side plot.
Every single character who's named has a side plot of some sort.
Yeah. And I'm just like, are there people who like these characters? 'Cause
like, is there someone out there that's like, oh, the suck-up guy, he is me. That is...
The suck-up guy.
The short guy that, like, is always sucking up and, like, the yes man.
The dude bro?
The dude bro that's the yes man and totally agrees with whatever someone says. And, like, yeah, totally, yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, he's just hitting on Hiccup's mom because he wants to be in charge. So he figures if he... gets in bed with mom after Hiccup gets kicked out as leader, he gets to rule? Or something?
Or maybe he just likes Hiccup's mom.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, probably not.
No, he, like, very clearly spells that out.
Yeah.
And he, for some reason, feels like the random handsome guy that was introduced in the second movie is his rival in affections for the mom, when this guy clearly does not give a shit about the mom.
Yeah.
And the mom is just, like, playing this guy and not, like, outright denying it. And that's really confused and weird, and I don't like it.
Yeah, and at the end, she kind of, like... leads him on,
like, are you actually interested in him? And if so, why?
Why is this here?
Why is this in this movie? That whole thing didn't need to exist in this movie.
No.
I didn't want this.
It's all played for laughs, which, I mean, I'm glad it's not played seriously, but, like, I'd just rather it not be in the movie at all.
Just, like, remove... that.
I didn't need this side plot.
The twins.
The twins have a lot more speaking lines, and that is both a blessing and a curse.
So the boy, he's easier to go over.
Yeah.
He's obviously very self-conscious about the fact that
about his masculinity.
About his masculinity. So even though he can't grow a beard, he ties his braids together underneath his chin, and pretends he has a beard the whole time, and everyone's just like, sure.
Which is funny, like, the first few times he does something with it.
No, it's funny for, like, 10 seconds, and then he just keeps speaking. You're like, no, stop.
All right,
and then he does another scene of it, and it's like, no, stop.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, the climax of someone chopping his hair in half, and he doesn't have his quote-unquote beard anymore, and he goes crazy. and like goes mad and starts attacking them and stuff. And
it's a whole Mr. T, Mr. Pig kind of situation.
Yeah. I don't know.
And he keeps giving Hiccup
these like
manly advice.
And it's supposed to be funny because this guy is also not very manly, but it's like this still isn't funny.
Yeah.
That's his side plot.
Well,
and he's also like the yes man for Hiccup.
He's also the yes man for Hiccup. And he keeps making comments about how unmanly Hiccup is. And like how wimpy and twiggy he is. And I'm just like...
That's his character, yeah?
Well, I mean, duh. But... Like,
No, Hiccup. That's Hiccup's character.
Rough Nut, Tough Nut, and Astrid are all twiggy Viking people. And yet again, this bothers the hell out of me because you're in a village full of, like, giant people 4 times your size.
Everyone except for the main characters are just a slab of meat.
Yeah, and, by this point... all these characters are adults.
Yeah.
So they just really stick out like sore thumbs.
Because this takes place 1 year after the second movie, wherein they reiterate that they're 20. So now they're 21. And they should be thicker.
Like
even a little bit.
Like, why aren't they more... Like, yeah, sure, we still need varied character design, but why aren't they more beefy yet? I don't get it. I don't like it. It's really distracting.
I mean, I'll get to Astrid. We'll get to Astrid in a bit, but like, I still want beefy Astrid.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Female twin. She's still debating on which guy she wants to date, but the guys are not interested in her at all anymore.
Yeah.
Like, they all just drop it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at one point she gets captured and is just...
Not captured, left behind.
Left behind. And then she's just so obnoxious the bad guy lets her go just to follow her.
Yeah. Which is both really, like...
That scene was both funny and obnoxious.
Mm-hmm. In general, all these side plots with these characters go from being, oh, that was kind of funny. All right, now we're getting kind of obnoxious. That was kind of funny.
And
okay, now I'm really annoyed.
You're overstaying your welcome.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Let's go. Let's get back to the cute dragons.
Okay, fat nerd guy has a baby dragon, and that's it?
That's the plot.
He just takes care of a baby dragon the whole time?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about him.
But they had to give everybody a side plot, so he's got a baby dragon along with him. And then, the Peg Leg Pete has a side plot with a bunch of demonic rabbit dragons.
Rabbit piranha dragons.
Yeah.
Because, like, at the end when they finally do something, they act like piranhas and just, like, chew up a boat.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, oh no, we're cursed because of this thing. And everyone's like, alright, sure. And, like, he's the only one that sees them and they just keep multiplying and...
Which is kind of amusing, but
it's not done well enough.
Yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere to really justify it taking up screen time.
Mm-hmm. It's like there's definitely a better way to like implement this with like faster cuts of them being there and not being there, but
yeah, like they only do the cutaway once.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't even really become like a running joke because he just like keeps noticing them and you're like, all right, cool. There's more.
Yes, and I don't get it.
All right.
Astrid.
Astrid is there to be Hiccup's arm candy.
Yeah, Hiccup's arm candy. I mean, in the like couple fights that are in this movie, she actually kicks ass.
She does the most when there's a problem. With telling the village what to do, she's the one that speaks up and everybody listens to her. But is she chief? No. Ugh.
Just make her chief.
I just...
Hey, Astrid, how about if we get married, you just take care of everything, and I'll just sit over here being sad that we don't have dragons anymore.
I'll just invent stuff for the village, because it's obviously kind of my thing anyway.
Yeah, I'm just good at inventing stuff, and you can be chief. Seriously, just do that. This would solve all... Not all, but this would solve many...
A big problem.
A big problem with the second movie, and, like, a smaller problem with this movie.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I still don't believe that the village is like, yeah, Hiccup's our leader. Like, sure, they respect him.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, even they in the movie is like, are you serious, Hiccup?
Yeah.
Like, we only really follow you because you have Alpha Dragon over here.
And, you know, you are Stoic's son, so, you know,
and he gave us dragons, but, like, you don't inspire a whole lot of confidence by yourself.
Which leads us into another plot. The bad guy repeats over and over again, like, ooh, you're nothing without your dragon. Which, he's kind of right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the movie never really proves that Hiccup is anything without Toothless or dragons.
In general,
In general. And then the villain also has this, ooh, is Toothless going to choose you or his girlfriend? And Toothless is never actually put
in a situation where he has to choose.
Where he has to choose.
Because it's like, okay, like, in case you're unaware of what happens, bad guy sets Pretty Dragon free to lure Toothless away. And then Hiccup's like, yeah, you can go be with your new girlfriend. And then he leaves and they go to the hidden world. And then Hiccup accidentally brings him back, but the girl followed. And then the bad guy's like, this was all part of my cunning plan to make him unawares that I've captured both of your dragons. And I don't know. Like, that's the movie. And then we have the climax where the humans have to save the dragons. But you know what? That's what happens every movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've noticed, but there's an ongoing theme of, oh no, the bad guy or someone against Hiccup has captured Toothless and must now be saved.
Toothless is quite the damsel in distress.
Every single movie, he gets captured and must be saved.
Mm-hmm.
All of them.
Yeah.
At the climax.
Mm-hmm.
Every time.
And every single time, it's the kids. I'm just going to call them the kids, even though they're adults at this point.
Uh-huh.
But the kids are left without a dragon to be seen, and they're like, oh man, how are we going to do this without our dragons? And then they pull some bullshit out of their ass.
The first one's like, what are we supposed to do? And I was like, we'll use the training dragons. And the second one, what are we supposed to do? We'll use the babies. Third one, what are we supposed to do? We'll fly with our gliding suits.
That we didn't really establish in this movie at all, but we're going to assume that you watched the second one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. Toothless is not really doing anything in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, when he's on screen, he's pretty much love-stricken or unconscious.
Yeah, that's pretty much Hiccup's two moods.
In this movie. I'm in love.
Not Hiccup, Toothless.
Toothless. He's like, I'm in love with the dragon girl.
Oh, I'm so dorky and clumsy.
Oops, I got sleep darted again.
Again.
Oh, I want to run through a couple of the other dragon designs in this movie.
Oh yeah.
So, like, we had the little piranha dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had, like, this just huge hulking elk-horned,
mm-hmm.
or, like, moose-horned dragon,
mm-hmm.
which was neat.
I really like the design of that one.
Yeah, it's like, this is a cool-looking dragon. He's, like, this big, colossal thing. It was like, yeah, I like
Without
this
being like huge,
Yeah.
like the alpha or queen dragon. I guess we're just going to ignore queen dragons ever existed.
the one queen that ever existed.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, the evil alpha from the second movie shows up in a cameo in this movie.
Yeah, he's just in the background. So Sean and I were both like,
It's
There he is.
him. And it's like, you know it's him because he's the same coloration as missing the same horn.
yeah, he's got the horn missing.
He's just in the hidden world now.
Yeah.
He just chills there. He's like, I've had enough of humans. Fuck those guys. But yeah, like this hulking thing is cool, and he does like a couple of things, but not really much. And the other one is the bad guys' dragons.
Which were really cool designs.
I really like these things. These are
Yeah.
like scorpion dragons with like jutting jaws and like
Yeah, like their teeth extend out
and they got like prehensile scorpion tails and like
yeah.
these things are just designed really well and they fit the aesthetic of the world and they spew acid fire, which works very
They're
well.
really OP.
Like they're incredibly
honestly.
OP. And the only way that the bad guy can control them is through acid mind control.
I mean, it's a pretty flimsy excuse, but like, I don't want to just spend all of this time nitpicking the bad guy's plan here.
Because this guy's plan doesn't make any sense.
No,
I mean,
really.
okay, it does make some sense because
It
he
makes sense while
enjoys the hunt, so he's
Yeah.
okay with letting them get away and stuff. But he's always like, "You fell into my trap!" Like every time they run into each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
Really?
every time.
This was your plan?
Every single time. And then he dies by falling in water.
Uh-huh. Which is like the same way the bad guy in the second movie
Yeah, it's like,
died.
did we actually ever see that guy die? either?
Okay, actually, I was looking it up on Wikipedia, like this movie, just to see like if it had anything interesting up there. Apparently, this movie was going to have another side plot where the bad guy from the second movie was going to come back and have a redemption arc. But they figured they couldn't, like, they didn't have enough time to flesh it out, so it got cut.
Wow.
I'm just like, why though?
He's such a... That is the worst villain of this entire franchise. He ruined a movie.
Yeah.
That's how powerfully bad he is. He ruined a movie that was already going downhill, but he just like took the ending and squashed any hope that that movie was going to be good.
Yeah, I'm really glad he didn't come back, because if he came back, like,
Nope.
well, this movie's ruined now too, just by associating with him.
And if you skipped our talk about Dragons 1 and 2, you don't understand. And you should really just go back and listen to that part.
Yeah,
Because it's really important to understand
why
our
we have so
context.
many gripes.
Oh, one thing I will say. In the first couple movies, a lot of the characters, especially Hiccup, kind of do this dancing motion a lot. And there's just like a lot of exaggerated, too much movement all the time.
Yeah, the characters are a bit over-animated.
And this movie still feels a bit over-animated, but it's a lot subtler. Like, it fits a lot better this time around than it did the first two times. So, good on you. And they also didn't actively mock their animation this time, so good.
They did mock Hiccup's voice again.
Yeah, by calling him like a honking goose, which, hilariously enough, is something I had thought about. It was one of the things that I wanted to say in the first, like in our review of the first movie or two, and then I forgot to say it. But I was like, you could have just replaced Hiccup's voice with a literal goose honking noise the whole time. And hilariously enough, this movie also calls his voice just a goose honk. Which, that's one thing I want to say, is Hiccup's voice was significantly better this time around.
Yeah.
Like, Hiccup as a character was not just baffling.
And at least he had a character arc in this film.
Yeah, he finally had a character arc. Oh, Okay, so the ending.
Yeah.
The tearjerker ending. I feel like Hiccup giving up Toothless is justified through the means of the movie. There's enough of an arc there to say, yes, Hiccup will give up Toothless. But then Hiccup's like, take all the dragons with you. And I'm just like, what? Just do it. Do it, Alpha. Take all the dragons. The world's not ready for you. And I'm like, yes, it is. You have consistently shown that you can fight off anyone that, like, tries to get in your way and, like, stop your way of life. And now you're like, no, we must separate so that we can have a heartfelt moment. And I'm just going to make it worse by making everyone separate from their dragons, too.
If I can't have my dragon,
no one can have dragons.
Have dragons.
Because I'm Hiccup. And I'm going to do a laterly thing that's not very later. So it's like, okay, the Hiccup Toothless separation, I'm fine with. The village, all of their dragons separation, no. Mm-hmm. That just feels not needed.
Mm-hmm. And if you're gonna say, oh well, they have to go with Toothless because he's the alpha.
No, they don't.
Why didn't they go with him when he left the first time? Why aren't there just dragons following him around
at all times?
At all times.
Why doesn't he just have a dragon entourage? Just what is a group of dragons even called?
A horde.
A flock, a horde, a murder, a thrash. Does it depend on what species of dragon it is?
I mean, dragons like to hoard things, so I would like to assume that a group of dragons would just also be a horde.
A dragon horde?
Yeah. It's got double meaning, so it's either like a dragon horde, yeah, this is my gold.
Well, a dragon horde or a dragon's
horde. Yeah. Yeah, I really don't like
the light.
Well, no.
We're still on the ending.
Yeah, I really don't like this ending of, we're not good enough for dragons. I mean, of course not. Human beings will never be good enough for dragons. But
not just in this universe, but any universe.
A pro-segregation message really just doesn't jive well with me.
Especially coming off of the message of the last couple movies.
Yeah.
Where it's like, we should live together, and you can't stop us from living together, and we're going to live separate now. Mm-hmm. It's like, wait, you just went against the plot of the first, or like the resolve of the last two movies just to have this tear-jerky moment, it feels like.
Yeah, and it's like, sure, you're doing this because you think it's going to protect the dragons, but I don't feel like that's a very good long-term plan.
No.
Like, they'll go down into the hidden world.
Which is just under the sea. It's just this giant cave system under the sea.
Mm-hmm. I don't understand how the water doesn't
crush.
Fill it up.
Yeah.
Like, sure, whatever, it's magic. But it doesn't feel like, it's a very good long-term plan because it's like, well, dragons left that to begin with for some reason
or other.
So, what did they eat down there? And like the hidden world wasn't that hard to find. Like, you guys know where it is now, so, other people will probably also find it. And now you're not together with dragons, so that seems like more of a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And, you presented a problem at the beginning of the movie where you just had dragons all over your island, and that seems like a pretty bad idea, of course. But, you don't need to keep all the dragons with you, either. You could have, a compromise.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the Hiccup and Toothless separating thing, but them needing to live in different worlds feels like a stretch and a bit disingenuous, because I don't give a shit about the bond between Toothless and the Light Fury. I don't feel like that's well developed enough, and I'll go into that here in a little bit. But the bond between
One
Hiccup and
throwaway
Toothless...
line of a Night Fury breeds for life.
Mates for life.
Mates for life is not good enough.
Yeah. But the bond between Hiccup and Toothless is easily, like, the strongest element of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, you have to make a pretty strong case to break that bond. And I don't feel like that case was made. I don't understand why Toothless can't just marry his girlfriend and live on the island. Yeah, sure, maybe Hiccup doesn't ride him anymore. Maybe they, you know, like, maybe Hiccup doesn't consider him his, like, pet anymore.
Because, stop considering the dragons your pets.
Yeah. But, like, I don't see why they can't live in the same universe.
Yeah.
Especially since every single time a threat of dragon killers and dragon hunters comes up, you guys seem to handle it pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, you seem to take care of the situation and deal with the bad guys and teach them that, you know, friendship is good and stuff. And that was kind of like we said earlier, that was what you were trying to do in the first two movies, and now you're just like, you know what? This is too hard.
We're giving up.
It'd be easier if dragons just lived separate from us.
For now, we'll bring it back eventually, but only when the world of humans are not fighting each other anymore.
And with that, I'm just like, okay, but you guys aren't really fighting each other. You're fighting about the dragons.
Yeah. It's like, this doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
I get that you're also trying to throw a message in here about, like, how humans are bad creatures and constantly fight each other, but, like, it feels really ham-fisted for this movie series.
Mm-hmm.
Which is all about dragons.
I feel like if we...
The real villain was man!
The real villain was man.
I mean, yes, obviously, but come on.
But the idea of them having to separate just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Whereas if they would have had a message of, you know, it's going to be hard, but we're going to keep trying to change people's minds and show them that people and dragons can live together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's, I think, a much more powerful message than we're not good enough for dragons.
Yeah. I would agree.
So the Light Fury.
Hello, I'm girl.
Hello, I'm girl.
I'm pretty sparkly girl. I can turn invisible and, like, teleport or whatever, but not really. It's just invisibility. And I'm girl.
I'm a girl dragon.
I'm girl. Can't do anything. I'm girl.
I'm a girl.
She does nothing.
She gets damselified as much, if not more, than Toothless.
Mm-hmm. And then, like, the movie, like, sure, she saves Hiccup, but, like, there's no real build-up for that, of, like, being a real issue. It's like, sure, she threw him off of Toothless' back a couple of times, but, like, she still didn't have any reason to hate Hiccup. It's like, so her saving him in the end doesn't feel like a stretch or like a growing up moment like it's supposed to be, or like a character arc or anything. Yeah. She just girl.
Girl. Also,
The children.
The children. This movie ends with a flash forward several years.
Where
Hiccup and Astrid are married, they have their 2 kids, and they go over to the hidden world, and we see Toothless and the Light Fury with their baby dragons.
Also,
like,
the Light Fury is never named.
It's just the Light Fury.
Mm-hmm. So it's just even more so the girl character.
The girl dragon.
Like, we don't even get a name for her.
Mm-hmm. And at first, I thought that, like, she's just supposed to be a female Night Fury.
But
that they
she's not.
decided to call Light Furies. But I guess not, because...
Their children are an amalgamation of the two.
Yeah. Unless they've just got, you know...
Pure lines of pure black and pure white. Somehow.
Well, no, I'm saying, like, unless Toothless and the Light Fury had, like, a non-binary child. Which I don't think is what they're going for.
No.
Seems unlikely.
Yeah.
I don't know, that just seems poorly thought out.
Oh, they kept Toothless's Mega Evolution.
They did, and I was surprised. I thought
Like,
that wasn't gonna show up again.
Immediately, like, he shows up Mega Evolved in the Sneaky Patrol mission thing.
Mm-hmm.
But they did enhance him because he can now do a teleport thing, but his is electric. And I'm just like, oh, they gave him a Z move then. He got a special move now to go with that Mega Evolution.
I thought that was going to have some kind of consequence for Hiccup.
You know, doing that while he's on his back. No.
Well, I thought that was going to be the payoff for the villain being like, is Toothless going to choose between you or his girlfriend? And it's like, oh no, Toothless is choosing his girlfriend because he's literally zapping Hiccup to death to go save his girlfriend. But no, I guess Hiccup's fine riding an electrified dragon.
Okay.
Good thing that dragon scale armor is...
He's electric proof too.
Yep.
Also, they'd never even attempted to save the scorpion dragons. They just killed them.
Yes.
They killed them all.
Yeah.
Every single one of them died.
Yeah.
Like, a couple were stuck in the harness to the flying machine and just went down to the briny depths.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not going to try to... That's kind of your guys' thing, you know, saving dragons. We're told that these are just being mind controlled, so you're not going to try to stop that? No, we're just going to go save the Light Fury. Stop her from being mind controlled, but like, all right.
Mm-hmm.
But they're so much cooler than her! Come on!
Well, and of course, like this isn't even necessarily a problem. It's just kind of a trope and something that it's like, well, I already don't really care about the Light Fury, but like in the climax of the movie, you've got the bad guy talking to Toothless, being like, oh, if you try anything, I'll kill her. And so, you know,
Toothless has to play along.
Has to sacrifice everybody else in order to save his girlfriend that I don't care about.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is us nitpicking
Yeah.
a lot. I would still say this movie is good, fine to good. I don't think most people are going to care about a lot of the stuff that we have issues with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm going to watch this movie again.
No. I mean, except for, you know, when we have to.
Except for when we do it for our job. We're not going to do it for funsies, though.
I feel like I said this at the beginning of our review of the first movie. But if I didn't, I want to clarify now, even though it's been all this time, and it might seem like I want to hate these movies. And I just want to clarify that I don't. I really wish I did like them. I love dragons. I want to see more fantasy / more mature-ish stories in big budget animation. I want more movies like this. I just want them done better than this. And the things that I don't like about these films might seem like nitpicks to a lot of people, but they do just stop me personally from enjoying them. And it bums me out. Because I wish I liked them like everybody else did, but I just...
You can't.
I just don't. And that's not to say that they aren't good, that there isn't things to like about them. There's a lot of things that we do like about these films, and we pointed them out during this review. Moments that we actually enjoy, that we thought were powerful scenes.
I think we mainly did that with the first movie. I don't think we really point anything like that out.
Well, no, we pointed out, like, improvements they've made.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
Was there any, like, standout moment in this movie?
I mean, I think that's where these movies really succeed, and why people don't pick them apart as much as we do, is because the emotional beats work.
Usually.
The emotional beats work so long as you're not analyzing it. You know, where the movie pulls us out is its, like, narrative cohesion, to get all fancy here, is because, like, we're looking at, like, the plot structure as a whole and stuff, but if you're just following the movie beat for beat and you're not thinking about these things, like, it has that emotion, and, you know, almost all of these movies have, like, these tear-jerking moments that really can connect with people, and they, like, touch on some serious issues, like loss of a parent, loss of a pet, all of that kind of stuff, and that's emotionally resonating even if you're not trying that hard.
Mm-hmm.
Not to give these movies any credit, I think that, you know, that emotional connection is there in these films, and they do a good job with these emotional beats. And of course, another big reason people love these films is the lighting and cinematography. Like, when they're doing big landscapes and doing the flying and stuff, like, that's what really got people into these films with the first one.
Mm-hmm.
And those are some of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah.
That make people keep coming back. And that's cool. I just wish I liked them.
Everything else about it.
Yeah.
That, while you were speaking, I was reminded of the fact that there are flashbacks to Hiccup's childhood with Stoic,
Mm-hmm.
where they try to retcon Stoic as, like, this gentle, doting, loving father figure.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not Stoic, though. That's not his character. Like, and, like, they're trying to set this up so that, like, Hiccup has more of a connection to him, but it's like, that's part of the point of the first movie, that he doesn't have that strong connection to his
I think they're
dad.
trying to imply that they started off having a good connection, and then as Hiccup became a teenager, they grew apart.
Okay, I just don't think... It's like, I see what you're going for, but I prefer the version of Stoic. Like, this does Stoic the character a disservice.
Yeah, and I feel like it weakens the plot of the first film.
Yes. And also they had to do it to shoehorn in this new plot of Stoic apparently looking for the hidden world himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that he could plug it up.
Yeah.
Because they can't mention kill all the dragons!
Well, and also set up the Hiccup needs to learn to let go plot.
Yeah.
Also, I like how all of a sudden we're just able to cure Toothless's disability.
Yeah, and they try to play it off as though they tried to do this before, but Toothless himself didn't want it.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So you figured out how to rewire the tendons in this dragon's tail?
Yeah, like how did you pull this off, Hiccup?
It's like this seems like it should require major surgery to like rewire the tendons and like ligaments and other things to make the flappy do the flappiness.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's like with how complex the movements are in Toothless's tail, I would assume that it would be a lot more complicated than Vikings could pull off. Even Wonder Child Hiccup.
Even Wonder Child Hiccup and this universe of like Vikings with their techno, their old-timey techno junk, which is like, this is silly and I'm okay with this, but this particular thing seems like a bit of a stretch still.
Mm-hmm. And yet again, it's just another one of those things where it's like, okay,
you're trying so hard to get away from the first movie where that was the major connection.
Yeah, it's like, but these two like
need each other.
Yeah, like they need each other, and that was kind of the point of the first film. And it was beautiful, and now you're kind of backtracking on that by making a thing that just fixes Toothless's dorsal fin. And I'm like, okay, I guess. But it's all in service for that tear-jerky moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. Apparently this might not even be the last movie of this series.
Really?
Yeah. Apparently the director has come forward multiple times and says that he wants to keep making more films in this series. And DreamWorks themselves has been like, oh,
money!
Well, it'll have 3 movies to be sure, but maybe more. And that just kind of makes me go, but you already...
You just finished the story.
Yeah.
I mean, in a ham-fisted way, sure, but like...
And in a way I'm not terribly happy with, so I don't know. In the 4th movie, you could fix it for me. Maybe the 4th movie's where they'll finally please me, Sean. Me and my very specific wants and needs. They must cater to me!
Maybe. Okay, we've talked...
enough.
For an hour on this movie, specifically. So this is like already going to be like a 2-hour video. I think this is a good time to wrap it up.
I am really curious to hear your guys' thoughts about these films. If you've made it this far.
Like 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Let us know.
What do you think of our opinions? Are they valid? What are your opinions? How do they stack up? Tell us. Like, seriously.
Tell us what you love about this series. Tell us what you wish was done better. If our opinions maybe changed your mind on some things or made you feel even more strongly about other things.
Write a 3-page paper and submit it to me by Friday.
Yeah, I expect this paper on my desk.
By Monday morning. No later.
Let us know how we're wrong and you hate us. I'm all
we couldn't
ears.
be more wrong.
Yeah.
Support your thesis, and I'll be okay with it.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, honestly, if you back up your reasonings...
maybe you'll change our minds about these movies.
But if you just say, I hate you, you're wrong.
I love these movies.
And that's it. And you just stop right there. It's like,
oh, well.
You told me no reason. It's like, oh, well, they liked it. Obviously, I'm incorrect.
Oh.
No, tell me why you like it.
Yeah.
Tell me why. Give me details. Mm-hmm. I want to read, a huge, juicy comment from, every single person that watches this video.
Telling us how dragons gave you the feels, or finally someone said it. Although I don't feel like anybody's gonna say that, because whenever I voice my opinions on
everyone's
dragons,
like, wait, why do you not like these movies?
And
like
then
every single time, and we're just like, I don't know how to put it into words.
And I finally got to do it here. Like, no, seriously, this has been a thing.
For years.
Ever since this film franchise started.
Like, even the first one.
Yeah, it's like people were like, oh, I really love How to Train Your Dragon. And then I'll, like, explain why I don't like it. And they're like, yeah, but Toothless is cute. And I'm like, he is. He's really cute. And I wish
I wish he just worked better in the
movie.
universe.
Yeah. Like, alright. So, yeah. Leave us your comments.
Is Hiccup's voice annoying? Let us know.
Is Sean's impression of Hiccup's voice even more annoying? Answer, yes.
Oh, thank you. I've never been so honored in my life. I think our next movie is Wonder Park, and
yes,
that's like
it's Wonder Park on March 15th.
So that's like 3 weeks from now?
Yeah.
Give or take? Almost exact, probably exact season, yeah.
I can tell you right now, this movie is probably better than Wonder Park.
I mean, who knows? Maybe that movie will just wow us in a way we weren't expecting.
Maybe, but I'm gonna put money down on the table
that it's probably going to be below both of these movies that we've watched so far this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to bet against you because I'm in the same boat.
You're betting on the same horse.
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, see you guys then. Bye-bye.
Bye.